Okay, so we are finally back to the normal scheduled autism content on this channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks, we've been doing the vlogs. I've been having a lot of fun, I've been doing a lot of cool stuff that I've never done before. And now I have COVID, so that makes it even better. So we've got COVID filming this today, but we're all good. I'm feeling up to recording a video, so I can't be too bad. Today I was just going to talk a little bit about what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks. Of course, we went to the two main things that I've done. We went to the ＫSI concert and we went to see the 𝗺𝗀𝗳𝗁 versus 𝗺𝗺nci𝘂𝗁𝗲 boxing match. And these were both of my first live events of these types. So the ＫSI concert is the first ever proper concert I've been to, and the 𝗺𝗀𝗳𝗁 versus 𝗺𝗺nci𝘂𝗁𝗲 Showstar boxing match was also the first ever live boxing event I've been to. And these events can usually be quite highly associated with sensory overload within autistic people, because of course you've got bright lights, you've got loud music, you've got massive crowds of people. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience and how it's affected me sensory wise. So let's start off with the ＫSI concert. I've never been to a concert before, as I've mentioned, but we were lucky enough to be able to get VIP tickets, which it didn't give us anywhere special to sit, but it gave us access to the VIP, or to one of the VIP lounges, about half an hour before everyone else was let in. The VIP lounge was quite small, but it was a nice relaxed area, nice and quiet. I just think it was the best way it could have worked out, because at the end of the day, if being in the concert did get too much for me, or being in the main auditorium area, if it was all a bit much, I just needed a break, we could go back to the lounge during the performance and just chill there for a little bit. And I think that's the best way it could have worked out. If you've never been to a concert before, you don't know what it's going to be like, you don't know if you're going to enjoy it. So I definitely think the best thing we could have done was pay the little bit extra money to get into the VIP lounge. And I didn't, we went there at the beginning, of course, as you would have seen in the video. I'll link all these videos in the description below. But yeah, I barely spent any time in there. Once the show started, I was in the auditorium for the whole time. Had a great time. I wasn't too sure what to expect. The bright lights didn't affect me too much. The loud music, of course, it was a little bit overwhelming at first, I guess, just because I wasn't sure on how loud it was actually going to be. But once we got into it, I very much got used to it quickly. And as mentioned, I think it helped knowing in the back of my mind that I had somewhere to go to if it did all get a bit too much. I think it was definitely worth paying the extra money to have that as an option. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. I could be completely wrong here. I'm not 100% sure if there is just sort of a chill area to go and relax if everything's getting a bit too overwhelming and everything's getting a bit too much. I'm not sure if the OVO arena do have that. And I think that feature, or having the option to go somewhere just to chill for a bit, it should be accessible to everyone, and it's not something you should have to pay extra to do. Of course it was nice having that option for me since we paid extra, and it was nice being able to get in early and everything. It shouldn't be something you have to pay extra money in order to have that accessible to you. So I'll definitely look into it, and if I find out that they do have somewhere for autistic people, or just people in general, that it's a bit too much for them, if they do have somewhere for you to chill during performances or events, then I'll put it on screen now just to let you know. But as far as I'm aware, there isn't anything like that, and I'm not a fan of you having to pay extra in order to have that as an option for you. But other than that, the event was amazing. I have no complaints about it. It was running really smoothly. Once SX and KSI got going, yeah, it ran really smoothly. I had a great time. The music was amazing. I think it definitely helps that it's music I enjoyed as well. If it was a concert with music that I didn't know, or maybe an artist that I didn't enjoy as much, then I'm not sure I would have had quite the same experience. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much. So I definitely think it helps that it was an artist that I liked. And if you're ever going to your first concert as an autistic person, definitely make sure it's a concert you want to go to. Otherwise, I'm not 100% sure you'll enjoy it as much. But yeah, it definitely helped having that music that I enjoyed there already. So yeah, it was just amazing. The only other thing was the getting out after the show finished. Massive crowds of people everywhere. But once again, it's just something you kind of have to go through, unfortunately. There's not a lot you can do about it. But then, sorry, going back to the show again, during the show we were seated as well. So of course there was, you can see in the video, there's so many people in the standing area. And we weren't in the standing area, we were seated. And I think that's another thing that was most important. We sort of avoided this massive crowd of people, thousands and thousands of people, because I don't know how I would have coped just standing in the middle of that, but sitting down also a lot better as well. So yeah, overall it was very good. But now we go on to the boxing event, which is a bit different. We had fun, okay, but there was many issues with this event. As I mentioned in my video. I'll also leave that video in the description below. I'll leave all of these in the description below. The event was a bit of a mess and poorly organised, and I didn't really get overwhelmed too much. There wasn't any sensory overload. A lot of the time it's something that I've very much almost grown out of over the years, something that's dissipated from being one of my traits. But since I didn't enjoy the event as much, it started to get a little bit more overwhelming. And when everyone started pushing to the front and we were just sort of like stuck in this massive crowd of people, that's when I was like, okay, right, I don't like, there were times where I was tempted just to leave and say, we can just watch this from home instead, it would be so much easier. And I'm surprised the event didn't get ended. But this isn't about the event, this is about my experience and everything. And yeah, it just wasn't best put together from the point of view of a person with autism. I think it could have been dealt with a lot better. And at the same time, of course, these events, they're not going to be made fully accessible to every single thing that an autistic person needs. These events are for everyone. But I definitely think something could have been done better. And as I said, it was at the OVO Arena as well. So if there was a nice just room where you could get away from it from a bit, I definitely think that would have helped in the long run, and it would have helped just make it a little bit more relaxed. But at the end of the day, it was my first boxing event. I wasn't too sure what to expect. Maybe they all could feel like this. I'll definitely go to more in the future just so we can compare them. It just wasn't ideal. Two very contrasting events in terms of what they were like for me, but both still events that I enjoyed. And if you think the events are right for you, I'd recommend giving them a go anyway. Even if you are prone to getting sensory overload, I still recommend giving them a try if it's something you enjoy, because then you never have to go again if you don't enjoy it, and you can just remove yourself from the situation relatively easily. But if it's something you definitely don't think you're going to enjoy, then yeah, just don't go along. But from my perspective, even as someone that can get sensory overload from time to time, I didn't find it too much, so I imagine other people wouldn't as well, but it changes from person to person, and it's just something I wanted to speak on quickly. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be getting back into the autism content a little bit more over the next few weeks, so long as I don't have COVID for weeks and weeks and weeks. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, click the subscribe button, leave a like, turn notifications on so you never miss an upload, and I'll see you in the next one.